It's that time of the episode that everybody's been waiting for. It's pick time. As you can see, it's me running solo this week. My man DJ Elliott is still on vacation, but never fear, he left his picks with us. I've also had a lot of buddy of mine call and tell me that, you know what, I'm kind of listening to DJ more than I'm listening to you. I said, okay, I get it, because DJ is currently kicking my teeth in. I'm Mr. 50-50. So DJ's on fire. Even though he had a rough week last week, he's still like plus 10. He's doing really well. So he did leave me his picks. So if you tune in for DJ's picks, all right, I got him, okay? And he'll go first. So his first pick, which is also my first pick, we have these first two in common. We both have Kentucky -1 versus Mississippi State. Kentucky's had a bye week. Defensively, they're really good. They've had an extra week to work on the offense, and I know they have. I like what they got going, man. I think Kentucky's a confident team. I think they're building confidence as the season goes on. This is really their toughest to date. They got a chance to run the table here and finish the season 11-1. They have an outside shot at the playoff. They do. I think things can happen where you can find Kentucky in the playoff. So I know it's important to them. They're good on defense. State is also good on defense. This is going to be a close game, but at -1, I'm basically taking, who's going to win the game. I just feel Kentucky's got things rolling right now. At the end of the day, they find a way to win. I'm taking Kentucky -1. So is DJ, and it's DJ's lock of the week. So it's DJ's lock of the week. It's not mine, but it's DJ's lock of the week. Second game, DJ has the Georgia Bulldogs -14 against the Florida Gators at the world's largest cocktail party. I also have Georgia -14 against the Florida Gators in the largest cocktail party in Jacksonville, Florida. So we both got those same two picks, and we're pretty good. When we both pick them the same, we're pretty good. I think we actually lost our second game last week. We are we're 10-2 maybe when we pick the same teams. So that's usually a good thing. But here's how I see it is Florida's reeling a little bit. They really are struggling stopping the run. I know they're going to have different scheme. I think they got caught off guard with what LSU was doing run game wise. But look, Georgia's got some dudes, man. Georgia may run for 10,000 yards. You may see a JT Daniels. Maybe by the time you listen to this podcast, we'll know. But there's a good possibility you're going to see JT Daniels out there on Saturday. But if not, Stetson Bennett's doing fine, man. Just run the offense. All you got to do is not turn the ball over. That's all you got to do in the offense. I think I could play quarterback in that offense. I can still throw an 8-yard hitch. I can hand the ball off with the best of them. And if I can hitch up a couple of times, I may even throw a 15-yard dig for a completion. So I think anybody can play quarterback for them right now. They're good. Florida's reeling a little bit. Man, Georgia's had another week to get healthy. I just like Georgia big, man. I think they probably win by 21, 24, just more than 14. I'm taking Georgia -14 along with DJ. All right, DJ's third game is Boston College is getting 5.5 points against Syracuse. And DJ is taking Boston College plus the 5.5. I actually like this pick. I think Syracuse is they're probably getting a little bit too much credit for what they did against Clemson, which has been exposed since. Boston College has been consistent all year. They've already ran the gamut. I kind of like Boston College in the points as well here with DJ, but that's not my pick. But that's DJ's pick, Boston College plus 5.5 versus Syracuse. My next pick, is going to be my lock, Raquel. I'm going the Ohio State Buckeyes -17 against Penn State. Look, Penn State is reeling. James Franklin's trying to get all the momentum he can get with Jimmy Sexton and all that stuff, trying to get out of there. But they've lost 2 in a row. Ohio State, I just see Penn State's kind of trending downward and Ohio State's trending upward on a high trajectory. Ohio State scored like 50 points in I don't know how many straight games. Penn State's not going to really where they're strong is at wide receiver, and that's also where Ohio State's strong. The only way I think Penn State covers is if they just run the football for 300 yards. I don't see that happening. That's the only way. That's how Oregon got them, and they struggle on offense. Look, Ohio State knows what's going on. They've been on fire. I think Ohio State blows the doors off of Penn State. I don't even think it's a game. Ohio State, huge. That's my lock. They're minus 17. I don't care what it gets to. Unless it gets to 28, I think they kill them. I think it's a 28 to 30-point game. All right. How about this? We're gonna make Raquel and my man Pablo Rich Rod Rodriguez fired up on this one. DJ Elliott is taking the ULM Warhawks on the road against App State plus 27.5. I love it. Look, man, I cannot. If you're a football fan and you don't love what's going on down in Fun Row, you're not a great football fan. You got to be a full college football fan to appreciate it. Look, I know what I know what kind of resources they have and what they were left with, talent-wise. They were just trying to win a game. I want to explain to this. If there's somebody out there listening that has any effect on like Coach of the Year and what's going on down there, please listen to this. The year before they just got there, Monroe never led in a football game. I'm going to say that again. They never led at any point during a season in any game. They never led in a football game and went over. Like Vegas had them like over-under wins of like 1 or 1.5 or whatever it was. Here they are sitting at 4-3. They're 2 games away from getting to a bowl game. And nobody gave them a chance in hell. I just think it's awesome what they're doing down there. I watch every week because I know what how good of ball coaches those guys are and how good of a job they're really doing. Coach of the Year, build a statue in Monroe. They're doing an amazing job, so I'm fired up for those guys down there. But DJ's riding plus 27.5 against App. All right, here we go. My next pick, which I think I actually was debating on making this my lock or not. I really love this pick. My next pick is Cincinnati, minus 24 at Tulane. Look, everybody, this line came down because they struggled against Navy. That's why this line came down. Do not be fooled, okay? Tulane's 1-6. Great coach. They're not there right now. They're rebuilding. Cincinnati understands the ball game, okay? Let me explain something to you. Cincinnati knows inside that building and inside that coaching staff, they know that they don't just have to win the rest of them. They got to start beating teams, and they can. They're very capable. Beating the doors off people so they don't slip. Okay, so they don't get taken over by a one-loss Power 5 team. So they know that. I expect this game to be another blowout. I think Cincinnati scores in the 50s. If they score in the 50s, I think maybe Tulane gets to 21, 17, 21. I see this as a 52-17 kind of game. Cincinnati knows what they got to do, and I think they do it. That's not enough. I'm taking Cincinnati all day long on that one. I like that. I like that bet a lot. All right. We are down to DJ. DJ's taking the Florida State Seminoles plus 10 against the Clemson Tigers. I don't disagree with this pick at all. I'd be interested to see what this line gets to. I wouldn't be surprised if this thing starts dropping. So if you're listening and it's still at 10, get on it before Saturday. I can see this thing dropping. Clemson's reeling, man. I bet on them last week, okay? And my brother-in-law said I had jinxed them. My brother-in-law's a big Clemson fan. He called me. He was mad. He was mad that I took Clemson. He wanted me to take he thought I had the same LSU and Oklahoma jinx. But, look, that was the first time I bet on Clemson. Do you know Clemson's like 0 for, I think, covering the spread? I may be wrong on that. Let me look that up. But to the best of my knowledge, Clemson's like 0 for when it comes to covering the spread. And I don't understand that. They're 0-7. Clemson is 0-7 against the spread. And I was the genius that picked them last week. But yeah, I don't disagree with that. Florida State's starting to come on a little bit. Norvell's getting a little bit of momentum. They're starting to play a little better. I like that pick. I think that's easy money. I'm surprised it's not his lock. All right, my next pick. All right, here we go. We got a really, really good game here in Jordan-Hare Stadium on Saturday night. Auburn is hosting Ole Miss. Auburn is, we're early in the week. I totally expect this line to move, so I jumped on it when I did. I got Auburn -1, okay? And I'll tell you why. If you don't agree with a pick, don't pick it. But I'm just going to tell you why I picked what I picked. I'm trying to bet with my head, not my heart here. Ole Miss is completely beat up, okay? Matt Corral is playing with nothing but guts. He's got a bad wheel. Receiving core beat up. And let me explain something to you. On Saturday, this is probably the most telling stat to understand how bad this receiving core is beat up. Is they ran out there and they're playing 3 and 4 wide and all that stuff. But let me explain to you. The leading receiver in the game on Saturday was Dontario Drummond, and should have been, and he should be every week. Had 8 catches, and 2 of his catches were on speed sweeps. So he really had 6 legit catches, as a receiver. 2 of those they give him instead of rushing yards. Now they give him as passing yards, but those were 2 of them. And the next leading receiver was Henry Parrish, who's your backup running back, who caught a wheel route and caught a check down. So he had 2 catches. Your third leading receiver on Saturday for the Ole Miss Rebels, your third leading receiver was Matt Corral. The quarterback was the third leading receiver. That's a problem when he only caught 1 ball for 19 yards and he's your third leading receiver. That's a problem. And your fourth leading receiver, by the way, was Miles Battle, who played his first game at receiver probably in 3 years. He's been playing DB for the last 2 years. They moved him. So there's your problem. LSU lined up and played man-free every snap. Auburn will not. Auburn's got good corners. They're good. They're going to be probably the best defense besides Alabama that Ole Miss has played all year long. I feel safe in saying that. Matt Corral's going to have to run. I mean, that's what it's going to have to be if they're going to do what they do. I think the score gets kept down on that. Them being beat up is a big part of me doing this. If this was 4 or 5 weeks ago at the start of this run, I'll take Ole Miss all day long. But with the current state of where they are on offensively, they should. And I bet you Lane would tell you this in privately. I haven't asked him because I don't talk to him, but I bet they should have scored more than 31 points on Saturday. They should have, based on what was being played. That's a concern. 4 weeks ago, they would have scored 60 points. They'd have scored a touchdown every drive. They'd scored 50 by halftime. So that's concerning. I don't think, and if you look at even the drives that they scored on this past week, they had some like third and long runs, like 3rd and 15, that either extended drives, runs, not passes, runs that extended drives and even scored touchdowns on. That's not happening this Saturday. You take some of those drives away. 31 points against what they had against this last week is a lot of smoke and mirrors on that. They're beat up. Now, personally, I hope they win because it's fun around here when they win. I pull for those guys. All those players that we recruited and I have personal relationships with, I want to be successful. I just don't see it happening in Jordan-Hare Stadium. It's going to be rowdy. And I know Neyland Stadium can rock, and it was so can Jordan-Hare. Okay, this isn't like they're going to play a scrimmage. Okay, this place can rock. It's I think Jordan-Hare as an opposing coach is worse than Neyland Stadium. Now, me saying that, let me explain this to you. I went there one time, and we kicked the piss out of them, and they shut up real quick. So I didn't really get to experience Neyland Stadium rocking. But for me, Jordan-Hare Stadium as an opposing coach is very difficult. All right. DJ, on his money line pick, has picked the Ole Miss Rebels. So DJ has picked Ole Miss money line. He thinks they're going to win straight up, and we will have a good discussion next week. I wish he wasn't on vacation. We'd have a good discussion here, but Auburn's coming off a bye week. And then here's the other reason I picked Auburn. By the way, DJ's not here to defend himself, so I can just talk away. All right, the other reason I picked Auburn. Auburn's coming off a bye week, so they're going to be able to get healthy. And here's another thing nobody's talking about. Auburn has played Arkansas, which is the same scheme that what Ole Miss runs. And so where it's a little bit different, Auburn already has basically gone through a game plan and practice week of this same defense. And they did very well against it on the road at Arkansas. And so I think they're going to do well against Ole Miss at home. And I just don't think Ole Miss can, if they show up healthy, they can do it. And they're a threat now, and they can score points. I just think at -1, I'm basically picking Auburn to win. It's at home. I'm taking Auburn. He's taking Ole Miss money line. I think it's a safe money line. I'll put it like this: if the spread gets up to, I think it's a close game. I think if the spread gets to 3 or even more, I wouldn't even take the points. I probably would take Ole Miss money line because of the odds you'll get. So I think you can hit it both ways. My pick's Auburn. His pick's is Ole Miss. We'll see on next week who's right and who's wrong. But everything that tells me, everything I know, all the information I know, tells me Auburn's going to win this game. And I got them at -1, so that's what I'm picking. All right. My last game, I'm closing it up with my money line pick. My last game, I'm taking Iowa money line. They're like 3.5-point dogs against Wisconsin again. A shocker, Wisconsin's favored in the game again. Look, Iowa and Wisconsin, they might not score 10 points in this game. There may not be 10 points scored in this game. The under's like super low, so I wouldn't say that. I mean, it's like 30-something. And when there's low-scoring games like that, I'm going to take an underdog. I'm not going to take the points. I'm going to take an underdog to see if I can hit the money line. So for any reason but that, and there was not a lot of money lines I liked. And so for that reason alone, I'm taking the Iowa money line against Wisconsin. Period. End of the discussion. Now, if you're watching this on MPW Digital, I want to welcome you guys again. We enjoyed it. We enjoyed everybody checking it out. I apologize for last week. I actually did a little bit more research this week. I came in prepared. I apologize. Stick with us because we usually have a good week every week. Also, people join us from the J Boy Show again. I want to thank you guys. We've had a blast doing that show over there. We'll get Jake on over here sometime to join us too. But enjoy the guys at MPW Digital and the J Boy Show. Appreciate all you listeners we got. And look, I know you're new, so I want to make sure everybody understands this. This is where I'm a little bit different. When you go on our podcast, and especially since we got all the guys, all the new Ole Miss people from MPW Digital on board, y'all used to like to troll me for years because I like my 3 stars. Well, I do. I love my 3 stars. So if you love if you love what you're listening to, go to our podcast, subscribe, leave us our 3-star review because I love it. Make sure you check us out on Home Visit on YouTube, Home Visit with Tyler Siskey and Associates on Apple Podcasts. We're on MPW Digital. We're everywhere now. Check it out. Send it to tell your friends. But until next time, take care.